Hey everyone, I'm Jaden,
And I'm Noah.
and we are the Super Gamer Bros, and this is the Super Gamer Bros podcast. We're just a couple of brothers who love playing games and love talking about games, so that's what we do. So today, Noah, we are talking about Lego Star Wars. Specifically, because there are several Lego Star Wars games, we're talking about the originals, Lego Star Wars, the video game, and Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy.
Let's talk about how these games basically defined co-op gaming for our generation, right?
I mean, absolutely. Couch co-op gaming, especially. There were Lego games before Lego Star Wars, but Lego Star Wars was the first of the like licensed Lego game series that basically has used the same basic formula all these years ever since the beginning and are incredibly popular, are very much a huge part of our history as gamers. And these are the games that started it all.
Yeah, it's true to be said that I mean, you probably have, but if you've ever played a Lego game, it was a copy of this game. You know, these games, like Jaden said, developed the formula for Lego games that has proven successful for decades now.
Obviously, as kids, huge Star Wars fans. So our dad got us the first Lego Star Wars game when it came out. We've been there since the beginning. We saw commercials for this game on TV and
You
went
were
crazy
hyped.
for it. Yeah, and we and then played it, and then the second one came out and the same thing. So commercials on TV, and we were like super excited about it, and we got it. Like really, like very influential games for us.
True, true. So obviously, let's just get this out of the way now, right? We're not gonna talk about the story in these games because being the licensed games that they create, they pretty much just follow the stories of the movies. The six movies that existed at the time, mind you.
Yes, and as much as we would love to just describe to everyone the plot of all six of the original Star Wars films, I feel like people would not want that.
I know we've had another Star Wars episode, and I've probably said this then, but I could literally talk about the politics of the Galactic Senate for hours.
Yes, of course. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite. Yeah, I mean, I honestly have just I don't think we could really ever say enough about how iconic these games are, how much they I think changed I would say even like games in general, just with how popular they are, how much there has been. Um like we have played almost every Lego game of this type since they have come out. Our very first platinum trophy was a Lego game. Our first two, actually, I think. And even now, I think probably, I would say at least 10 platinum trophies I've gotten have been in Lego games.
Yeah, well, that's because they're easy.
Well, they're easy, but also, I mean, they're Lego games. They're fun.
They are fun.
They're great. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump into it. Uh, in terms of I guess the setting. Really, you have each game has a hub area. In Lego Star Wars, the hub area is Dexter's Diner, a very brief location in Lego Star in not Lego in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
The only word that comes to mind to me is iconic.
Yeah, yeah. And then in Lego Star Wars 2, the hub area is the very iconic cantina from Mos Eisley Spaceport on Tatooine.
Yeah, but that one's not ironic. Mos Eisley is actually like probably the most iconic place in Star Wars canon.
Um, it's definitely up there. I
Yeah,
can
but you're right.
definitely
Like
agree with
Dexter's
that.
Diner, what a weird place to pick. Like, why wouldn't it be like the Jedi Temple or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. My best guess would be they. It's the closest thing to the Mos Eisley Cantina in the original trilogy, and they wanted it to be smaller because, like, the Jedi Temple is pretty big. I imagine these games were developed, you know, maybe like not exactly simultaneously, but I can't imagine they created the first without knowing, hey, we're no matter what making the second. So I imagine a lot of that kind of came in tandem, and that's the best I can guess.
No, I think that's a really good observation.
Yeah. And then for the story, just a bit kind of talk about. So Lego Star Wars, the first one, tells the story of Star Wars episodes 1 through 3. In 17 levels. It's a level by level basis, and each level basically you play out a scene from the film, and through these levels you play out each film in its entirety. And then Lego Star Wars 2, same thing, episodes 4 through 6.
That's true. Anybody who's a fan of this podcast will know that I qualify myself as an avid Star Wars fan, right? I'm pretty deep in it. Not the deepest, but pretty deep. So playing through these games and playing through all these infamous scenes from the movies, they really highlight all of the best scenes. Nothing's really missed. They have the trash compactor, all the duels, the endings of all the movies are satisfying, and then it's hard to put down the game because you want to go to the next scene. You're so close to the next
And
cool thing that's about to happen.
yeah, and the levels themselves are not very long. Like you could probably finish, if you're just playing through the levels and story, you could probably finish like each game, I would say, in maybe less than 3 hours, 4 hours, like not long at all. Oh man, you said. Oh, and also very for people who have played, maybe just played newer Lego games, they might not remember this, but initially, these games, no dialogue. Everything is kind of told through like visual stuff, visual gags, visual everything.
Yeah, it's all slapstick comedy.
That is absolutely what it is. Yeah, and yeah, that's the story. I feel like this, fastest we've ever gone through the story.
True. I was gonna say, something else that's different about these, since they didn't have dialogue, they, in every single scene, they would change it and make it like funny or weird or different to cover for the fact that they didn't have dialogue. So the games felt more of like a parody of Star Wars than like a perfect retelling, whereas if you play like uh Lego Incredibles or Lego Avengers, it would follow the movies pretty precisely. And they would make jokes in dialogue.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, it's like, it's basically like, hey, what if the Star Wars movies were silent films? You know, kind of take it back to that era of filmmaking with the slapstick gags and telling a story without dialogue, which I mean they managed to do very well.
Yes, they did.
Anyway, let's get into the gameplay, Noah.
All right. So gameplay in Lego Star Wars is geared towards family play, right? These games were developed by TT Games, by uh, Lego, and so obviously they are designed for children first. Um, they definitely have a lot of interesting mechanics still, a lot of fun gameplay aspects. I'm definitely an advocator of, just because a game is E for everyone, it's for kids, doesn't mean it's a bad game. Anywho, so it does not feature a game over scenario. All right, when your characters die, you just respawn endlessly, and that's it. The only penalty for dying is losing studs, but we'll get to that. So, given a specific set of characters in each scenario, based on a scene from each of the movies, up to 2 players can control them using their different abilities. So, like in episode 4, you might be using, in episode 1, you might be using Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, and it's 2-player limit. So you can play with one, but you'll still have to switch characters. But playing with 2 is the optimal way to play the game. By walking up to another friendly character, the player can switch control over to that character. This interaction is necessary in order. Didn't I just say that? I'm
Yes,
not
you
going to
did.
say that again.
Yeah,
Okay,
you did.
my bad. I didn't
Yeah.
see. I didn't even see that. That was the next line.
Yeah.
So when I kind of mentioned this earlier, but when a character loses all their hearts, they have 4, and each hit takes a heart away, whether that be like a bullet or a lightsaber or whatever have you. Their character is broken apart and they lose studs, which is the currency in the game. We'll talk more about studs a little bit later on, but there's no game over, there's no lives, it just keeps going. So if you don't care about studs, you're pretty immortal. You just play through the game. And that's why it's designed for kids. So certain segments of the game feature players controlling spaceships or flying, although it's done in like a flat plane arcade style.
It's like one of those like kind of like what's that? What's that? Like Space Invaders kind of thing. Like there's no up and down movement. You're just left to right shooting stuff in front of you.
Right, exactly.
Except it is not a top down view. It is like a from behind view.
Right, it's like what's that really famous game about flying that's on the 64?
The Nintendo 64.
Yeah. Star Fox?
Oh, Star Fox. Yeah, of course.
It's exactly like Star Fox.
Yeah, that is it.
Oh yeah, so this is the meat and potatoes of Lego games, right? This is why we play them.
Yes, the collectibles, because Lego games really are a collectathon game. So, with collectibles, starting in the original Lego Star Wars, you had the mini kits. 10 collectible mini kits in every level, like these little white tube-looking things with some, like colors. They're used to build a small Lego set that matches with the theme of the level you just played. For example, in episode 1, like you have a level where you do the pod racing and you build, I believe, Sebulba's pod racer with the mini kit of that level. Really cool, really cool. Very iconic, like appear in Lego Star Wars, the video game, and have appeared in every Lego game since. So like the appearance changes depending on what's sort of like the franchise you're playing for, but pretty much same concept every Lego game since 2004.
You're right, they're still called the same thing. I wanted to say about these, the Lego games and how they do their collectibles is they'll be spread out between their levels. And in later Lego games, they're more in the open world too. But how the Lego games do it is each character has certain abilities and they lock off puzzles for story purposes. When you're playing a story mission, you have to be those characters in the story. But when you're playing free play later, you can be any character. So if you have a character unlocked that can use that ability, you can get that puzzle, that mini kit, whatever. That's I wanted to say that is taken from Metroidvania, right? We've seen that in plenty of other games, and I think it's a fantastic way to do collectibles.
Yeah, the puzzle solving in Lego games has certainly become more intricate, but always, very fun, very interesting. There are puzzles from Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2, I can remember even now of like using the Force to move these blocks to spell the word Lego. And that gets you some stuff, finding hidden rooms that like there's always like the bonus room, like the multiplier room that gives you like ×2 to all your studs. And like different kind of puzzles, like you said, like involving different characters, and they've been there since the beginning. So then Lego Star Wars 2 introduced the power bricks, also known as red bricks, one per level, which collecting each power brick then unlocks an extra, which is basically kind of like a cheat kind of thing, for you to purchase. And much like the mini kits of Lego Star Wars 1, these have been in every Lego game since they were first introduced in Lego Star Wars 2.
I think we should say this for all the Fortnite kids listening, but when we say purchase, it was in-game currency. Back then, you didn't have to pay for currency in games.
Wow.
Is that too harsh?
Nah, I just want to make sure there's enough silence that people understand what you did.
That's fair.
All right.
But is that not fair? Does every game, like if there's currency in a game, there's going to be currency you can buy? There's only a few that aren't.
Nowadays, yeah, I at the top of my head can't think of one that didn't like.
I mean, in recent times, I can think of one, and that is Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, I was gonna say God of War.
God of War is older.
Oh, I thought. I mean, I 2018. I didn't realize we weren't allowed to go back that far.
2020, bitch.
Whatever. Anyway, um, yeah. So, Lego Star Wars 2 also introduced the gold bricks. Once again, very iconic to Lego games. In every Lego game since Lego Star Wars 2 have been gold bricks. Uh, you collect them, you can use them to build stuff in game. What you can build with them kind of varies game to game. Sometimes you need them for like bonus levels. Sometimes they're just like extra things that you don't really need. It varies game to game, but in Lego Star Wars 2, they were used to unlock different like challenges, actually, not even necessarily bonus levels, but challenges and bonus levels, which it's going back since it's been so long since we played Lego Star Wars 2, like I forgot all the different types of challenges you unlock with gold bricks and have to do to unlock gold bricks, which are things that have not really been repeated that I can think of since.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What challenges?
We'll go a bit down that
Oh, okay.
as we talk about the bonus levels.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So first, Lego Star Wars does have A New Hope, the bonus level called A New Hope, which is playable level from episode 4 on board the Tantive 4. Right, Noah?
Yep,
I got it right?
that's right.
Yes. It is the same as the first level of the second game, so I assume it's kind of like a little teaser. But you play as Leia and just a random rebel soldier, and yeah, it's just like the original bonus level. I don't remember how to unlock it. Noah, do you have to get all mini kits?
I think you have to 100%. And then
I know you don't have to 100%
I
because
thought,
we never 100%ed the original.
oh,
Because we never like got all the characters and stuff. We just got all them. I know we got all the mini kits, and yeah, I think it was getting all the mini kits, but don't quote me on that because I forgot to look it up.
that's weird. Collecting the characters is the best part.
Yeah, no, I know, but like we got most of the characters. Like I like it's not like we didn't care. We just didn't get all. So then, Lego Star Wars 2, with your gold bricks, you unlocked 3 kind of bonus challenges. First is Super Story, where you have to play through the entire story in one sitting to get a gold brick.
Did we do that?
I don't think so.
Jesus
I honestly don't
Christ, that's
remember.
intensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's one for each movie, like not the entire story. You have to play through one movie all in one go. Then the next movie all in one go is another level, and then like 4, 5, and 6, all the movies they're each level. And then again for each movie, you have the character and mini kit bonus levels. The character bonus levels, you have to pick a character, and then you have to destroy 1,000,000 studs worth of objects, collect 1,000,000 studs within 5 minutes. And that gets you a gold brick. And then the mini kit bonus level is the same concept, except you're in vehicles. But the catch here is you can only pick the vehicles that you have created by collecting mini kits in the main game. So you can't even attempt these until you've collected all the mini kits in a level. At
That's
least
really
one.
cool.
Yeah. And then if you get all of the gold bricks in Lego Star Wars 2, you unlock Lego City, which is a very iconic bonus level in most Lego games where you're in like, a tiny city, like compared to your size, like you're about as tall as the buildings, maybe a bit taller than some, and you just destroy everything to gain 1,000,000 studs, and that's when you beat it.
Yeah, I just remembered that when you put that here, and that's a really fun time.
Yeah, it's really cool. I remember we struggled with this a lot. Like, I feel like we had to have gotten all the gold bricks in this game because can remember us playing that bonus level, like a bonus level in like Lego Star Wars of having to do that because I remember we were stuck on it for the longest time, like missing 8,000 studs or something because we couldn't find the last thing to destroy. But maybe there was
Oh,
one in
that's
Lego Star
annoying.
Wars 1, but I didn't see one when I looked it up.
I also forgot
Excuse
about
me.
these, and these are awesome.
Yes, Lego Star Wars 2 also introduced the Bounty Hunter missions. To unlock the Bounty Hunter missions, you have to beat the game, and then you have to purchase all 10 bounty hunters. Not all 10, sorry, just all the bounty hunters. And you unlock 10 missions where you play through a small area and you have to find your designated target, which is just, like a famous character. Like in the first level, it's R2D2, and you have to find Leia, Luke, Han, like all of them. Very fun, short little missions. Not something that's really been repeated since.
No, and these are great ideas because it would make better use of having so many characters that do the same thing.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars 2 really improved a lot on Lego Star Wars 1 in terms of adding content with the gold bricks, the bonus levels, the bounty hunter missions. Like in Lego Star Wars 1, you had the mini kits, True Jedi, and characters, and that was it. So, it was they definitely really added a lot to Lego Star Wars 2. Speaking of studs, True Jedi, I'm sorry, studs. So studs are just the money in the game. There are 4 colors: silver, gold, blue, purple, have different values. Basically, they're just used to buy characters and extras. Basically, they're the thing you'll spend most of the time collecting in the game. You can almost everything in an environment is destructible to collect studs. If you collect a certain number of studs in each level, you unlock what is called True Jedi, which is just like I don't know, it's just a bonus thing.
Yeah, I think it was just a bonus. I don't know if it granted you anything back then, but in modern games, it's a gold brick.
In modern games, it's a gold brick, but like obviously in Lego Star Wars 1, it didn't get you gold bricks because gold bricks didn't exist. I don't know if it got you gold bricks in Lego Star Wars 2. I would guess so, but I can't say for sure.
I love True Jedi. I call it True Jedi to this day.
Yeah, no matter what game playing in, always call it True Jedi.
So the characters, right? These games, Lego games are notorious for just being packed with characters. And it just gets more and more ridiculous as you go on in Lego games, honestly. But Lego Star Wars was not so short of characters itself. The original game had 56 playable characters. That's a lot of characters to pull just from the first 3 Star Wars movies.
Yeah, and they really, stretch out with some weird ones. Like there are so many Star Wars quote unquote characters that I know of specifically because of this Lego game. Like the Gonk droid.
I was about to say the Gonk droid.
Everyone loves the Gonk droid. Lego Star Wars 1, man. And like a bunch of smaller droids like that. And then a bunch of random characters that we
like
knew.
Kit Fisto.
Yeah, Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Shakti, Ayla Sakura, like all these iconic characters that we knew from the Lego games. Plo Koon, of course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like we knew all these characters because of the Lego games, and it's so weird because it's like they're characters that I would say, are more like only the diehard Star Wars fans know them. The more diehard Star Wars fans know, like I wouldn't say an average typical.
I would say an average Star Wars fan knows who like Plo Koon is, maybe.
I would say maybe because the Clone Wars show, a lot of these characters are more well known. But especially before the Clone Wars show, like nobody knew who these guys were, but we did.
That's true. And we played like every Star Wars game that came out between 2000 and 2010.
That is correct. And then Lego Star Wars 2 more than doubled the playable characters, 114, but 46 of those are from the original game with if you had the save file on your memory card, you would get those characters.
That's still more new characters than the first game had.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just continued the trend, right? Just making more. It's never enough.
Like I think I don't know, like I would say either Marvel Superheroes 2 or DC Supervillains has the most characters, but they're both around 250, I think, which is insane.
That is insane, but if we're being honest, they do a lot of multiple versions of characters.
Oh, multiple versions of the same character, a lot, yes, a lot of repeats. And then also, another thing, constant, every Lego game, extras, which are basically kind of like permanent cheats you can just put on, range from invincibility, there are stud multipliers, there's like, attract studs.
Big head mode.
Big head mode, disguises where they all have like the glasses and mustache combo. Just once again, a very iconic. Every Lego game has these.
Yeah, and I love those because they don't tell you what they are, other than the ones that are obvious, like, times two, times four multipliers. But something like disguises, we'd be like, disguises, what does that do? And you don't know until you turn it on, and they're really funny.
Yeah, a lot of comedic ones. Anyway, as we just zip along here through our Lego Star Wars discussion, we're already at our questions. So, Noah, favorite moment?
My favorite moments have to be unlocking the characters because, like, the ones from story are cool because you'll finish a mission and you'll be like, awesome, now we got Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. All right, now we have to go back and get Darth Maul. And then unlocking Darth Maul, and they have, different characters have different attack animations and force animations, and some have different force powers. Their attention to detail, even in this first game, was pretty astounding. And that's what I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I'd say characters, the mini kits I love. I love collecting the mini kits and seeing the little like seeing the little mini kit be built like piece by piece as you collect them, and especially when you complete it and then it like explodes and you just get a bunch of studs. One of the like coolest
Let's just
feelings in a
change that
game.
to the entire post-level reward ceremony. Like, other games need to adopt that.
It is very rewarding. I feel very accomplished.
Right? They're like, look at all the characters and the studs and mini kits you got. Good job.
Um favorite boss battle.
God, I don't know. Probably. I mean, I like yours, of course, but I'm gonna go with a different one. So I'm gonna go with fighting Darth Maul and the Duel of the Fates.
It's a really cool level, really cool fight. Um uh yeah, I mean, Darth Maul, one of our favorite Star Wars characters of all time, one of the coolest Star Wars characters of all time. Uh
Yeah, and you wouldn't even watch Clone Wars.
Anyway, Mustafar is mine because it is a PvP boss battle. In the level you play as Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you like go through the level a bit, do some platforming, puzzle solving, and then you fight each other for a few hits, and then you continue on the level, fight each other. Just a really cool, I think a very, very cool lightsaber fight in the movie, and it just feels so cool to play it out. And you are actually, fighting your friend that you're playing with as you're doing this. Really, really, really cool.
It's so good. It's such a great adaptation. Because like you said, they follow all the steps of the fight. And it's better because unlike the movie, the fight's not broken up, right? You're not cutting to other scenes of other things going on. It's just all that fight,
Yeah,
all the intense music, and we're both trying to win, and the
yeah,
game doesn't work, so fighting each other, it's not designed for you to do that. Most of the time you're just like wildly swinging and hoping that you clip the other person. Um,
yeah. They're fighting against people. Their fighting mechanics could use a bit of work in the game.
yeah, I think it's
Uh,
better now, like they have a tracking system, but that's a whole thing.
yeah.
Um, I was gonna say
What
it
we
had an alternate ending, right?
I don't think it did.
I'm about to look it up so we don't look stupid.
Yeah, look it up. Oh, hey, while you're looking that up, I'm going to give you a little fun fact here. So, this game actually came out before the movie, Episode 3, and before the Episode 3 video game. So, because of that, they could not use the licensed music from the movie. So, actually, all of the music in the original Lego Star Wars, and during the Episode 3 levels, is music taken from other movies.
That's crazy. All of that is new information to me. Well, I mean, Star Wars music is good in any movie up to six. Um, but what the other thing you said? Oh, it came out before episode 3, the game and the movie. So it's technically the first episode 3 interpretation.
Well, I assume episode 3 was out in theaters. I just think it was before like the home release.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, as you keep looking up for this alternate ending.
Turns out there's a lot of things called Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with no. I don't think there is because I can't find it.
All right. I'll take that win.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just doing some double checking real quick. I think you're just thinking of the Star Wars Episode 3 video game.
You might be right. So what happened if Anakin won, or could he not win or something? Maybe there was something like that.
I think
But-
you could win, but I think the story ended the same either way. Anyway, what we didn't like about the game, Noah?
Lack of, I'm gonna say it again. Honestly, what I didn't like about the game, at the time, it didn't bother me so much, but if I played it now, lack of intricate combat mechanics, because the bosses aren't really developed, right? Every enemy in the game kind of just does the same attack based on what weapon they have.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah, for me, I guess I would say, yeah, I guess I'd say the same thing. Just the combat, like the combat is very button mash, and that's it. There's no intricacy to it at all. Which there's not really much intricacy to Lego game combat systems now. They're just a little bit more finely tuned.
They're a little more developed.
Yeah.
Still not where I'd like them to be.
No. But I don't play Lego games for the intricate combat mechanics.
No.
Replayability.
I'm gonna say no. Lego games for me are not replayable. Once you 100% it, that's it. You shelf it and it's part of a collection.
I can agree with that. Yeah. And then our final review of Lego Star Wars 1 and 2.
I mean, like we said at the beginning, right? These two games are, to me, in my head, they're one game, and they pretty much are. And they will forever stand out as the original Lego games, two of the greatest games to be made so far.
I can agree with you there. Yeah, no, they're great. Love them. Some of fondest gaming memories playing through Lego Star Wars series. And yeah, I think that's Lego Star Wars.
Very short, especially for two games. But we didn't talk about story at all. Really.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to the indie bit, the bit where we talk about indie games.
Yay!
Thank you. That's all I want, man.
I thought you were having a stroke or something. I'm like, is he okay? Should I call Haley?
No. So the Legend of Korra video game it came out on PS4, Xbox One, and it basically takes place in between seasons 2 and 3 of the Legend of Korra show. And basically, there's some issues with spirits and criminals, and Korra has to stop them and stop this old guy from causing chaos. That's the story.
Yes.
Gameplay, game's kind of like a beat 'em up. You just kind of travel through each level, going through certain areas. You fight enemies, either like criminals and spirits. As the Avatar, you can bend all 4 elements, but of course, because of story, you only start out with 1 element, and you have to slowly like regain the ability to bend the other 3.
I like that though.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like it does one of those things where it at the beginning, like the prologue, I guess you could say. It's like it takes place at the end of the game during the final battle, and you have all of your elements, you have all of them max level, and you're just fighting a horde of spirits, and then it takes you back. It's one of those games that's like, hey, look how powerful you are. You could be this powerful in a few hours, and then it takes you back. to when you have nothing.
I like that too, though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like I like when games do that. Like it's cool seeing like how powerful you can be, the abilities you can be before you end up playing through the game. A good way to test what you would use more often, stuff like that. Yeah, fun times. Obviously, no, we're fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Are we fans of The Legend of Korra?
Officially, yes, we are fans of The Legend of Korra. I actually have rewatched it because Paige had never watched it, and I felt like any true fan of Avatar should watch it because there are things that do relate back to the first, and there are things where they push the boundaries and they do some interesting stuff, but a lot of it's just jumbled nonsense, if I'm being honest. And the worst part of it is Korra. Korra in the show is weak. She is always getting beat. She just gets beat up. And I rewatched the first Avatar series, and Aang never loses. Even when he's like tied up, he's like, oh yeah, it's no problem. And then he's out and free again, you know? He just felt powerful all the time, even when he was only an airbender.
No, I absolutely 100% agree with you on that aspect of it. Aang does lose, but it's very rare. Um, but no, I like my biggest complaint about that show is probably that Korra just loses pretty much every time. And there are hypothetical writing reasons that I could think would be behind that, but you know, I know nothing about it, so I'm not even gonna say because you know it's probably not true. But it's very like I don't think the show is bad. I like the characters for the most part. It's just like you know the original show was so good that I don't think a sequel could have really lived up. And yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like the fact that they go all industrialized. I don't like that. Yeah, overall it's just not as good. But I would not say it's a
I mean,
bad show.
I thought they were trying to dissociate as far as they could.
Hmm. But
You
I feel
know,
like I
that's
feel
part of
like
the problem.
yeah, like they overcorrected. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, it's still better than the movie.
I mean, sure, our
Is this an
podcast is better than
Avatar
the movie.
podcast?
Yeah, welcome to the Avatar Power Hour,
Our
where we
next
talk
segment
all
is going to
things
be
Avatar.
about us creating our Avatar podcast.
Yeah,
And we're just going to talk about how much we want a AAA Avatar game to come out.
every
And then we'll
episode is the
just,
same
yeah,
thing.
every episode we design a different game ourselves. An
Yeah,
MMO, an RPG, an online multiplayer, you name it.
yeah. I was just gonna say every episode we just upload the same file over and over again, just saying how much we want the game.
Wow.
Um, Noah, did you like the game? Oh, actually, before I say I should talk about gameplay. Yeah, like I said, it's a beat 'em up. You get the powers. I guess I did talk about that. Noah, did you like the game?
I did enjoy this game, although I will say, I mean, obviously we have biased, uh, or we are biased, excuse me. We watch the show, we adore the canon of this world, and the best part of Avatar is being the Avatar and bending all the elements. I mean, I've played old Avatar games on the PS2 that weren't bad at all, and I don't know if Jade never played them, but they were really good, and we might talk about them in the future. But this game, I'm gonna say, is a good game, even though uh, I'm biased. I think it's good because the story is not too short. We bought the game, it was like what, $30?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. And it came with way more than I expected. I mean, all of the elements had different mechanics. Slightly. I'm not gonna say it's deep mechanics or anything, but I didn't feel like I was mashing one button the entire time. The enemies also had enough variety to spice up the game until it was over for me. And then they have the game, what is it called? The bending games
Pro bending.
from the pro bending. They brought that. It's basically like boxing for benders in Korra, and they brought it into the video game. It's not multiplayer, which sucks because that would make it really fun. But I mean, I played it and I thought it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I also like this game. I know the game itself did not get very good reviews. It received very well. The biggest problem I think people had was the repetitive gameplay, which I will say the gameplay is repetitive, but the way I feel is I don't care if a gameplay is repetitive if I like the gameplay. And I do like the gameplay. It's like, it's fun. It's a fun, simple beat 'em up. I enjoyed it. So I was not bothered by the repetitiveness of the gameplay at all. And it's just a fun game. I do think I did get the platinum in this game. Which is fine, except Legend of Korra on PS4 has one of our favorite types of trophies. Noah, do you know what that is?
No.
RNG trophy.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I spent a decent couple, like 2-3 hours just doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get the right RNG for these collectible items you have to get. And that I will like certainly a chunk of my gameplay, a sizable chunk, was just working on this RNG trophy.
That's awful. If you're a game developer out there, do not, I repeat, do not base your trophies on aspects in your game that are RNG. That is because people who are looking for trophies can spend years on your game that takes 20 hours to beat. And that's not okay.
Yeah, it's a way to very much pad game time for people who want to complete the game. But yeah, I mean, it's Legend of Korra. It's great if you like the show. I mean, you can't get the game anymore, but if you like the show, you probably like the game. And if you don't like the show, I'm sorry we wasted the last 10 minutes of your time.
Well, I mean, if you like the show, you have to watch the game online because you can't play it right.
Yeah. Or, spend a lot of money buying a console that has it pre-installed.
If I'm being honest, the game is better than the show.
Well, yeah, you get to play the game. That always makes it better.
Did you play Avatar 2, Bending
Oh,
Break,
you mean the Burning Earth?
Burning Earth?
Yes, I did. One of the most
Oh, what's the third?
infamous.
I think the third is better, but the second is good too.
I played the third. I remember playing the third. I don't remember what it's called. I do know the Burning Earth
Oh, cut
is
all this part about this game out,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. The Burning Earth is one of the most infamous games for achievements of all
Are
time.
you also
because
gonna cut out all the shit about Avatar?
no.
Okay. Oh, no.
Anyway, that's the
Wait,
Legend of
it's notorious for what?
it's one of the most notorious achievement games ever because you can 1,000 point the game in like 5 minutes
What?
because it only has 5 achievements and it's basically just like if you get like
Like
X.
doing introduction things?
No, it's just get an X number hit combo and you
Um,
can, and that's like all the achievements. It just builds up and like literally like watch an achievement guide for it. It's 5 minutes.
that's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was back before Xbox like set like a standard for what achievements have to be and stuff. So a lot of those early games are super easy or just super weird. Like I think the King Kong game, like based on the early 2000s movie with Jack Black, like has a total achievement score of like 870 or 870, something like that. Because they didn't have to have like 1,000 for a AAA game or anything. There was no standard to it at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody, that's the Legend of Korra. Noah, what is the next indie bit game?
The next indie bit is.
All right, the next indie bit is Layers of Fear.
Oh no.
Because next
The
episode
Halloween episode
is our Halloween
Shit.
episode.
What's the main game?
Folks, our next episode will be our Halloween special episode. We just talk about 2 horror games. Our main game is Outlast.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Outlast, very popular indie horror game. And then the indie bit will be Layers of Fear, which is I don't know if I would describe it as popular. It was an indie game. We played it. I've played it entirely.
You know what? I think there was like I saw a trailer for a sequel.
Layers of Fear?
No, maybe.
Layers of Fear 2 exists. That's already out.
Okay. Maybe I was thinking about another game.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
definitely would not say it's popular though.
Yeah, no, we'll be talking about Outlast and Layers of Fear. That'll be our first Halloween special. Yeah, indie bit. So Noah, the day this episode comes out today, October 26th, is the 1-year anniversary of our first episode of this podcast.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yep, we've been doing
Wow.
this for a year.
If nothing else, look at our commitment.
Yeah.
That's a testament.
Yeah. So
We can sit down and do this shit for a year.
yeah. So just give you just a couple quick little facts, fun facts here. So in this year, we've done 26 episodes, and we talked about a total of 51 games.
Damn, that has to have destroyed our games list.
Yeah. Although there were some that were not on our games list because before the indie bit exist, we were like, oh, we'll never talk about these games because we could never do an episode on these games. But the indie bit has fixed that for us. Like, we never would have done an episode on Legend of Korra, So yeah. Also, as of when I wrote this document yesterday, we had a total of 734 downloads.
Not too shabby.
No, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all for, a couple of brothers who just talk about video games they've played in arguably too much detail.
That's weird. When I say it, I say we're a couple of idiots who bullshit on the internet.
That's fair. That's another good way to put it. Also, from the last time I've checked, no comments, which you know what that means?
We're not on any platform that can comment.
That is incorrect.
Nobody
that means
comments.
And why do they not comment?
Because we're not political enough.
Because our show is perfect. Like, nobody has anything to say to improve upon it. Our show is perfect. That's it.
Well, I've seen comments on other people's channels that are like, good job, great vid.
Well, that's how good we are. They don't feel the need to tell us that because they know that we're just so perfect. This show is perfect. What we are doing is absolutely perfect. We don't need to make, it tells me we don't need to make any changes to what we're doing. Now let's talk about the changes we're going to make to the podcast.
I like that in your head, you imagine they listen to our podcast and they just sit back and after they're done and they're just tranquil and everything is
that's how
okay
I feel
now.
Yeah, that's how I feel after we record. So I imagine that's how they feel when they listen to it.
Wow. Anywho.
But anyway, seriously, what next? Basically, I don't, we've talked for a while about potentially changing some things up here. We didn't specifically because I wanted to get a year of what our initial format was, just so we could say like, hey, we did it. We did it for a year. We got it, and we do still want to keep doing the podcast the way we are now. Just we are both way too busy to play the games necessary to keep up with the amount of games we talk about. Like the indie bit especially ruined that because the entire reason we had bi-weekly episodes was because we had the thought process of, well, like, we can't talk about 50 games a year. We don't play like 50 games a year. We don't play near that. So we'd run out of games super quick. So we thought we do it every other week. Yeah, we'll have 26 games a year so we can, go for a few years with that before it becomes an issue. And then, like I said, the indie bit just screwed all that up. We've pretty much have talked about 52 games in, a year anyway.
That's true, but the indie bit, you forget, solved the other problem of games we really wanted to talk about, but not being long enough to warrant an episode.
No, you're absolutely correct. But it's still so we're working out some ideas of other stuff we could do with the podcast, other like kind of episodes we can do, types of conversations. If anyone has any suggestions, go ahead and send them our way because I'm open to suggestions.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, no, I won't. Obviously, like it's not like our next episode is going to be different. It'll probably be a bit before we do something different, just because we have to think about what we'll do. But yeah, we will end up. I think like at the like more than likely, eventually we'll probably have one episode a month where we talk about a game, like we basically do this format that we're doing, and then a second episode where we talk about something. It's not really, something we have cemented. We're just running through ideas.
That being said, we might test a few different things.
Oh, we'll definitely test a few different things, and then when we don't get comments, we'll decide which things we personally like better.
That's how we've been doing it so far.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, we did it a year.
It's definitely a feat.
Yeah. And I'm certainly.
I thought we might get comments if we put all of our stuff on YouTube.
Oh, I guess we can talk about that. I guess we're also currently in the very laborious process of trying to get our episodes put on YouTube as well. I guess if you want to look up our YouTube channel, what is it, Noah?
Is it not the Super Gamer Bros?
I'm pretty sure
it might be the Superb Gamer Bros.
No, I think it's just the Super Gamer Bros. That was our Twitter.
Let me go check.
But yeah, we only have the first episode so far because neither of us have great computers, so trying to get these uploaded is really just destroying Noah's PC.
True. My PC is like 5 years old now. It's been a long time since my freshman year of college, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you got, a laptop?
Yeah. I can barely edit the audio file on this thing. I don't even want to try a video.
That's so funny to me. It's just a bummer because YouTube won't let you upload things as audio only. It has to be a video.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's semantics. But yeah, we'll just if we have updates about different formats, different things we want to do, obviously we'll post them. We'll talk about it here. We'll post about it on our Instagram. So just to anyone who has listened to us in this year, thanks. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to Campbell.
Yeah, shout out to Campbell because he's like, there's no way he likes this, right? Like, there's no way he actually likes listening to us talk this much.
I mean, I don't know. Either that or he really loves us, and then that should make you feel like shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Love you, Cam.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, don't forget, new episodes every other Monday, with the exception of this episode will be uploaded on a Tuesday, but the following episode will be uploaded on a Monday. Rate and subscribe. Tell us if you like our show, or tell us if you don't, and tell us why. Tell your friends and enemies about the podcast. And you can follow our Instagram, the Super Gamer Bros, for updates on episodes. And yeah, we'll see you guys next game.
Bye.